Okay, this is the third and final section of 1.1, or third and final lesson on 1.1. And what I try to do is break it down into parts that are manageable, so you didn't have one 30-minute presentation. Everything we've learned so far stays the same. We will still use the prompts and the keys that we've learned before. We will still look at multiplication or division first, as we just talked about in our last lesson. Today we're going to look at as the prompt is. The essential question for the day is, how does the word is change my approach to translating expressions? Pretty much all it does is it just turns the expression into an equation, but nothing else changes. That's why I said everything we've learned so far will stay the same. What you need to know is that is means equals. So whenever you see the prompt word is, it translates to the symbol that is the equal sign. When we encounter the prompt in our work, I would mark it by circling it. Again, I think that's italicized, so you might want to do that. Again, so when we encounter that prompt is in our work, circle it, and then that gives us something else to kind of use. Remember that we put a box or a rectangle around the operation word. We underline the numbers. Now we're going to circle the word is, so we understand that it separates it. There are other forms you're going to see. You're going to see is equals to. You could see equals. You could see are. But the bottom line is making sure you understand that it just turns it into an equal sign. So when you see a statement like this, these again are your examples. The distance an object travels is equal to the product of rate and time. Here, again, is equal to would be our operation. We have is equal to is our equal sign. We have an operation word here. The thing we have to look out for is the product of rate and time. And if you think about it, I told you before that you want to use variables that make sense. And so what we're looking at here is the distance is equal to product of rate and time. So what we would do is put D for distance, because remember we want to use, in this case, we want to use variables that make sense. So D, that would be equals product of rate and time. You write RT, because remember you don't use a sign, you just put letters, put them in order. And since they put rate first, you put your R, T second, you put your T. That is a actual formula, and that is how it is worded. Alright. The perimeter of an object is the sum of twice its length and twice its width. So here again, you're talking about is. Here is your equals. You have a operation word here. Remember that twice is also its own operation word. Twice is an operation word here. And so what we're talking about is twice its length, so we probably want to use an L for that, and twice its width, which means we probably want to use a W for that. And again, the part in front of is, the perimeter of an object, we'll probably use P. So what we would do is use P equals the sum of, which means you're going to add two things. Remember that the order of operation says twice the length is more important than sum, because that's add and that's multiply. So it would be 2L. The reason I put my L in capital is because an L like this looks like a 1. So find some kind of way. Some people use a funny curve on it, but again, to me, whenever I write an L, I use a curve on it, or sorry, a cursive L. So you're adding, which means you're summing twice the length and twice the width. And so that would be the way that you would translate that, as the perimeter of an object is the sum of twice the length and twice the width. The sum of 2/5 a number and 7 is 11. Alright, we got an operation word here that means add. We got is. We got also of. Yes, that is also an operation word there. Remember, in terms of numbers, we've got 2/5, we've got a number, we've got 7, we've got 11. So let's see how this works. The sum of 2/5 of a number and 7 is 11. Remember, now we have two operations in here. This is plus, this is times. And remember, order of operation says try that one first. So 2/5 of a number, remember, turns into 2x. I'm sorry, 2/5 x. The sum of that and 7, so you would add 7 to that. Remember that is turns into equals, and 11 is what you get over here. Eight is 3 times the difference of 4 in a number. 8 is 3 times the difference of 4 in a number. So again, we have a number here. That means equals. There's a number. Operation word. Operation word. Number. Number. So as you learn to do it, you kind of get to see it there. So again, 8 is means it's going to be 8 equals. But here's where our training comes in. 3 times the difference. Remember, that's our weird phrase. 3 times the difference means it's not 3x or anything. It means we're going to look at difference first. So the difference of 4 and a number is 4 minus x, because remember 4 was first. And the way we do 3 times that is we put parentheses around it and put a 3 on the outside. Again, that's where you have to make sure you know to use your parentheses, otherwise things fall apart. So your final thought is, how should I work out a problem in which an equal sign is involved? First thing is, mark it up as much as possible. That way you can organize your thoughts. Secondly, I would take everything up to the is word or the equal sign portion and translate that by itself. Then put your equals and then translate everything after. For example, first thing we did, here's the is we turned the perimeter of an object into p. Then we wrote equals, and then we translated the sum of twice its length and twice its width. Here we did the sum of 2/5 of a number and 7, and we stopped. Then we turned that into equals, and then we did everything after that, which was your 11. Here the first thing we did was put 8 and equals, and then we focused on the second part. So pretty much the word is just separates it into 2 things, and that should help you to kind of recognize what's going on with that. So again, make sure you get the most you can out of this lesson. Be sure to ask about what you don't know so that we can try to get you back on track. You do have a quiz at the end of the week, and again, your test for this, I believe, is next week, next Friday, so you want to make sure you know what's going on. Good luck.